Hello, everyone. Oh my God. Hi. Hi, everyone. Whoever's here listening, welcome to episode 3. Welcome to This Era, the show that talks about the many sides of me. I'm Kevin, and today we're talking about how understanding causes suffering and how we can shift from suffering. Just a little few things, a little tips and tricks, sweetie. Not really an expert here, but I don't know. I'm just talking because that's what I do best. So, talking. Does anybody else is this like weird that I brushed my teeth before sitting down and recording? I know. I don't know why. Here's the thing. You're using your mouth to talk. I'm talking. Well, obviously, Kevin, you're using your mouth to talk. But I'm talking here on the mic, and I just want to have a clean mouth, if that's not weird, to talk, because it would be annoying and nasty to be bad breath over here, So I did brush my teeth before sitting and recording here. So that's fun. Yeah, if anybody's here from the previous episodes, thank you for listening, and thank you for sticking around and listening. There's so much that I want to touch on, and a lot of things that I have planned out. So that's exciting. I'm very excited for that. But each episode, one at a time, sweeties, one at a time. Guys, in other news, I ordered a bidet. I don't know if I haven't said that. I ordered a bidet, and it's from this one place called Tushy. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Tushy, but it's called Hello Tushy. I wish I was sponsored for Tushy. Hopefully one day. That would be really cool because I actually use it. I bought one. And they just came out with their new one. So I just bought one, and it's coming Wednesday. So that's fun. This is probably going to be out by then. So I'll keep you guys posted on the bidet and how that feels on my buns, on my butt. So I'm not going to go into much detail with that, but I just want to tell you that I ordered a bidet. So yeah. Anyways, let's get into this episode where understanding causes suffering. So I came across a German poet. I think I saw this on Instagram. I don't know where I saw it. I saw it on Instagram, but it's this guy. His name is Charles. I don't know. Okay, pardon. I don't know how to say his name. It's Charles Bukowski. I hope I'm saying that right. Hold on, give me a second. Guys, this thing is gonna break, I swear. By the way, I have my tea here. Made myself a cute tea because we're gonna spill tea. JK, it's not tea, sweetie. And he said, sadness is caused by intelligence. The more you understand certain things, the more you wish you didn't understand them. That's interesting, sweeties. Guys, I feel out of breath. I'm gonna die, I swear. I just ate macaroni and cheese, and I feel so full. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm gonna add that to my notes. Don't eat before making a podcast episode because I can't breathe. Sadness is caused by intelligence. The more you understand certain things, the more you wish you didn't understand them. Is this true or not? Because I feel when we're little, this is everyone who. Here's the thing. When we're young, you in episode 1, we're coming out before I didn't really know much about gay culture or any type of culture. I was an uncultured swine, very uncultured swine, and I didn't know anything, sweetie. So I'm just a little puny boy who didn't know much. Okay, she's innocent, and she's that seal isn't broken. It's broken now, sweetie. God, my brain is fried. It is, it's fried, sweetie. It's not dark, very dark. My understanding of the universe is present. No, when you're little, you don't understand a lot of things, and that I don't think you suffer, right? Don't you think you don't care about anything? And God, I can just sidetrack here. I can go wherever. Little kids, I feel especially now, I would love to talk about this in another part, but the kids now are so fried. They're fries, guys. I love fries. They're fried. Their brain is so I need to take pictures. I need to take selfies. I need to look good. I need to, all these insecurities. And Like why? Like you don't. You're so young. Like you don't need to care about that. Like why? Like why? And so when oh my god, you can hear my niece in the background. How weird. When you like, the more you understand things like about the world, it causes suffering. Like you start getting sad about like the future, or I mean, if you're thinking about the future, like you start like thinking about all of these things, and I'm not saying that everyone suffers, but like you start suffering, and like I think that's just a true statement that this guy said. I don't know much about this guy. Again, a German poet, Charles Bukowski. I don't know how to say his name. And he said, sadness is caused by intelligence. The more you understand certain things, the more you wish you didn't understand them. And he said another thing that when I was like searching him up, this was on Google, I think. But I was searching him up, and he said, another famous quote that he said is, I don't hate people. I just feel better when they aren't around. And I'm like, oh my God, I love this. There's a song from Tame Impala. If anybody listens to Tame Impala, and he says, solitude is bliss. And I'm like, oh my God, my mom, like solitude to her is bliss. To like for my mom, like I don't hate people. I just feel better when they aren't around. And this is true for me sometimes. Like I don't know what that's called, but sometimes alone time is really good. Not all the time, but sometimes you just need to be with yourself. And I'm going to touch on that with being with yourself later on in this episode. But that's, solitude is bliss. Don't you agree? So, I mean, I agree for sure. Be lonely, sweeties. When you're lonely and sad and depressed and you're home sitting and making a goddamn episode because you're lonely and depressed and solitude is bliss to you. JK. And it, when coming out, I started to understand myself, and I started to come to terms with who I am. And like, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm fully like, oh my God, I know who I am. But like, I started understanding more about that culture and me, that it started causing me to suffer for a moment. And I said that I touched on that in the episode 1 with coming out, episode 1 coming out, my story, where after, like before coming out, obviously I was like suffering because like I didn't know, but after coming out, I started to suffer for a bit. I started like, I cried, I felt sad, I had moments of like loneliness. There's so many things I could touch on, but after that, and that's why I feel like that statement where, understanding causes suffering, or sadness is caused by intelligence, it holds true in that part of my life for sure, because I started understanding more and it started to make me a little bit sad. But, that's okay. And what I wanted to touch more on is that I was the root. I was the root for my suffering. I am that. And like, I'm more than a title or a word. Like, I'm more than just gay, That's not who I am. I'm more than just gay. I'm more than, clinging to this identity. And I'm just saying, like, don't choose that an identity. Like, don't cling onto that identity. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I need to reflect on that. And like, that's just, I was the root of that, but I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm just saying, like, I am more than just gay. And you are more than just whatever your name is, whatever you are, whatever your name is, wherever you live, you are more than just that. You are that you are. And so I had a psychology class this past year for college. By the way, my college like sort of closed. Very sad. This pandemonium. Somebody says that. Someone who I know says pandemonium for pandemic. But this pandemic, it and there was some other stuff too that this school had. I can spill some tea about that. But the pandemic caused like less people to come to to school, and the enrollment dropped and all of these things. So that school had to close. But in that school, I'm still going to go to college, but I'm saying in that school, I had a psychology class. And I remember there's this famous philosopher named Socrates. And he said, And I quote, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And so reflect deeper in a conversation with yourself, and in that you'll find your true purpose and acknowledge how wonderful you are. So he said, the unexamined life is not worth living. So like I said before, I'm reflecting deeper with me, and I find my true purpose and who I really am. And I'm not saying that I really, now I know who the hell I am. I'm still doing that, and I'm pretty sure everyone's always constantly doing that. But and another thing is not to compare anybody with others, because or criticizing yourself for not being enough. And it's just interesting that I'm talking about these things, because I have people in my life who tell me these things, and it's just true. Just don't, I don't know. It's scary for the young kids to me, because they compare themselves to people on social media. I have family who, who are very young, and I see that happening to them, and I'm like, oh my God, hello, what are you doing, sweeties? You find you. And I know that they're young, but they're so young. Why are they on social media and worrying about doing their duck lips and freaking taking selfies? Oh my God, why? I don't know, these tiny childs, I swear. I wanted to get into more serious things in this episode. I hope I can touch on everything. I'm not sure if I can. Like I said, we create our own suffering. The thing is that we're finding the root to take action and to do things differently, shifting the inner dialogue that I have, and snapping out of it, sweetie, snap, and my little snap sound, and doing things differently to find peace and happiness. And once you find that connectedness, especially towards life and death, I feel I still get a little bit, I have so much existential crisis, sweetie, every single, I think last night I had that, literally, I have I don't know, I think I'm I need to go to a therapist or something, I don't know, sweetie. Talking to you guys right now is sort of like therapy. But I'm still scared of death. For me, I am. And I'm I know that one day I will find peace with myself with death. And once I find that connectedness, like I said, with life and death, then all things and everything that matters will matter, and I won't feel lonely. And I'm not saying I feel lonely, but it's for people out there, you won't feel lonely when you find that connectedness with life and death. And I don't know, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but again, we create our own suffering. What I was saying is that life moves on, and it's a cycle, and death, and there's just this universal movement. And why suffer? Why be the cause of your own suffering, and just live? You know what I mean? Live a little, sweeties. And I don't know, just I like listening to other people's truths. And I feel like I just sidetracked again, but that's okay. That's what we're here for, sweetie. We're sidetracking. We're sidetrackers. I'm gonna put that. Make an episode called Sidetrackers. I like listening to other people's truths, and not just my own truth, because when you have your own truth, you stay stuck on that, and you don't develop, you don't grow, you know what I'm saying? And there's a special someone in my life who once told me, and I quote, he said, "Fuck what others say about you and how they made you feel. Fuck what they bye." And it's so true, because I would focus on what, and just why do I have to do that? Don't put your energy in an inauthentic life. You know what I mean? Because that causes stress, and that could even, I know that stress could make you sick. So why put that energy in something that's inauthentic? You got to be happy. So you'll be happy when you align yourself, when you align your life. And something else that I'm also learning is some people choose fear over love. And like, because fear produces, thoughts that make your brain and your bodies and your heart's like icky and like all tiny and fucking gross. Don't protect yourself from life. Don't protect yourself from life itself. You can't like achieve your full potential and fulfillment when you live out of fear. And when living in like a place of love is when we generate compassion and optimism. Like, that's something that, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but like don't choose fear over love. I don't know. I feel like some people are just like scared and like we cling on to that like fear and that like drives like our decisions and like, I don't know. We're just scared. But here's the kicker, sweetie. People laugh when I say that. Here's the kicker, sweetie. Especially like when I say like choosing fear over love, like fear, I'm saying like also living in the past or living in the future. And that's something that like also like, especially like I'm going to touch again on the coming out thing. And during those times, I would think a lot about what was said to me, what people thought about me, what scenarios that I was in. Scenarios that I was in that like caused me to feel pain and suffering. And that was me living in the past. And another thing that I think is happening more now, and I need to work on that, is I live a lot in the future. And that's not, I don't know, I like think about future scenarios and things that I want to do in the future. And although those are like things that are fine, like I could think about the future. I can imagine like doing something with someone, my family, in the future. And like, I don't know, just I always dream and daydream and imagine the future. And sometimes it's extremely scary, whether it is death, whether it is how I would die, whether it is what would someone think of me, what would my family say, what would I do, like anything, just the future. And I recently started to really appreciate and trying to be present. And again, someone has helped me, seek this truth and constantly, remind me and reminding each other to be present, because that's when like sometimes when I'm in the moment and I sort of catch myself being present. I'm like, oh my God, I'm being present. And I almost cling onto it. I almost like sort of see it go by and then I just let it go and stay present. And that's when when I'm present. And I don't know if anybody, like, if you guys really like, just like, if you could take the time to close your eyes and think about it, when you're present, what do you feel? Like, time goes away, time melts. For me, time doesn't exist. And I feel peace and I feel like I'm in a place where nothing matters. Just what I'm seeing here and now. And being anywhere but the present keeps us from enjoying that, enjoying our lives now. And although we can accept the future as a possibility and not a certainty, that we can accept the future as a possibility, things that are possible, which is amazing. Like, you can dream about tomorrow, but not a certainty. And so I'm just learning to pay attention now. And I'm saying to, anybody out there, pay attention now. And you can notice the beauty that is there. And, you can gain gratitude in your lives now. And that's what I'm doing. I'm gaining gratitude, appreciation for what is here and now at this moment. And just take a little moment and like think about that. I don't know. It's something that I have like really like dove deep into. And to be honest, TBH, I would cry about those things too. Like being present. Like, why do I need and I'm not saying that I'm not saying I'm perfect. I still think about the future. I still think about things in the past, things that I did, things that other people did, how I felt, how other people, like all of these things and the future. But what's important is now, and just moving along. And something I wanted to tell everyone, if you're listening here, is there's a book called The Power of Now. It's a really great book. Again, I wish this was sponsored, but it's not. It's called Practicing the Power of Now, and it's by this author called Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. I honestly don't know, sweetie. Just search up The Power of Now. You can get it on Amazon. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller. And hi, Hope, if you're listening. Hope is the one. Hope is a really great friend of mine. Her name is Hope. And she showed me this book, and I haven't finished it yet. Hope, if you're listening. Hi, how are you? I haven't finished it, but I'm allowing the universe to guide me to finish it. There was an accident one time. I think, Hope, you did it. This is interesting. Hope was in my house. I was with my old friends at the time, and she like was looking at the book, and it like my what's it called my book my bookmark in the book fell, and she was like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "You know what? That's okay. Maybe this was the universe's way of like mixing it up a bit, and because I need to touch on something in the future." And that's okay. We both just agreed to that, and we were okay. And I just put it in there, and it's sitting right here next to me in my desk. I haven't continue reading it. I was reading some other book, but I'm just going to let the universe guide me. And whenever I need to read, I will read it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hope you're going to be in a future episode. Stay tuned, everyone. Hope will join me in a future episode. So that's fun and interesting. But yeah, she showed me this book, and I bought this book in Spanish for my mom. She liked it. She's not finished with it either. It's a really great book. I highly recommend it. The Power of Now. And it sort of touches on that, like I said, being now and paying attention now and having gratitudes to what you have now. I'm like, what's it called? I keep saying now. That's my favorite word. Can anybody tell? Touch on is like, we don't like being uncomfortable. Like humans, like we just don't like being uncomfortable, and sometimes we choose comfort over growth, you know, and like we become like a prisoner to our comfort, and we're not meant to be prisoners, sweetie. We're meant to be free, and you know, freedom is where we live the fullest. And you know, there's some obstacles and shit, but you know, there's going to be some doorways, there's going to be some opportunities, and you know, you just got to engage to that to get rid of the discomfort. So, you know, seek growth and not comforts. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't know. I'm just trying to be the divine nature of my being. What I was going to say is that our suffering comes from denying our divine nature and the lack of appreciation for like connection that we have like with everything in life. You know, we don't attach to things that bring you like temporary like relief, you know. And I don't know, my brain just like went. I feel like sometimes I get rid of things. I get rid of shit in my house, in my room. People say that I'm like really organized and clean. When you don't have things, like you don't need, like, I don't know. I think I'm just not attached. I do like material things, but when something isn't necessary, I try to get rid of it. That sounds so depressing. Like, oh, I don't want you anymore. Bye. I don't need you. But it's kind of true. Like there's some truth in that where, you know, if I don't need this empty glass that I'm not using here, if I can't repurpose it, then get rid of it. Recycle it. Bye. Get out of my life, sweetie. You're taking space. Like that. I don't know. And so don't attach to things that bring like some temporary relief. And God, that's a deep thing to say. Like some people just attach to something that like gives them like a little bit of happiness, and they want to cling to that and they want to keep that. But if that's clogging your growth, then you need to get rid of it. You know, that sounds so sad and depressing. But wholeness comes from accepting the whole of our beings, you know, and like that elevates us, that elevates our consciousness, and that changes us, and especially changes the world. And that's sort of a great example, especially like now people are like realizing truth and realizing, but we don't know what the hell truth. We can lose truth. There's so much I can talk about in truth, about truth. I'm saying that word again. A lot of words, repeating words. But people are sort of understanding like, and like, I don't know, I feel like people are like elevating their consciousness and like being like, we're changing the world. I don't know. It's such a pivotal time in history. And like I said, I'm not saying suffering would simply melt away and go away. Oh my God, I'm so perfect. Oh my God, let me get my tea. I'm so perfect. It's not going to melt away, sweetie, and it will always be present, you know, but you don't have to offer it anything. Don't give it food, sweetie. Don't like give it food and be like, hi, I'm suffering. Don't melt, go away. Again, I don't know what am I doing. Anyways, there's always things that we don't like about ourselves, and there's always going to be traumas. Oh God, me, I have so much trauma. I hate people who tell me that I don't have trauma. I'm like, sweetie, we all have trauma. Like childhood, you're in a Latino household. Come on. Also, I wanted to touch on something. Not touch on something. I wanted to do a little segment called the Latina mom word of the day. And so I wanted to quickly give you the Latina mom word of the day. So let me give you a little bit of that. Here's the Latina mom word of the day.
Chamaco baboso. Baboso.
Oh my God. Chamaco baboso. That's the Latina mom word of the day, sweetie. That's like saying a dumb kid, right? I don't know. I honestly don't know the full definition. I hope I'm right. If you're listening and you're Latino like me, I am so sorry for bringing this to you. I don't know. Chamaco baboso. That's the Latina mom word of the day. If you learned something, I hope you learned something. And we can go on and on with about how, you know, to choose things that don't like compromise like your health and well-being and especially like spiritual growth. I don't know if anybody's spiritual here, but I mean, I sure am. And like, you know, don't deny things that make you happy. I think I listen to my inner voice a lot, my inner dialogue. I do that a lot. I talk to myself a lot. And that's something that you should do. Talk to yourself. Like, I hope that you do that. I for sure do that. It's so life-changing when you speak to yourself. It sounds so like weird. Like it sounds like I'm a loner and I don't have anybody. But like when you speak to yourself, when you're talking to yourself and like you start sort of diving deep into your own mind and your own being and you unravel some things. You're talking to yourself. You're there's really no other explanation. You're speaking to you and you're having a conversation. Have a conversation with yourself, and I guarantee you'll find a little bit of peace. You'll find something. You'll listening to your intuition. Don't choose like some momentary like pleasure or comfort. Listen to your voice, because I guarantee you. I mean, I'm not saying guarantee you, but I guarantee you that it would transform you a little bit. It's going to help you understand yourself and take care of yourself more because you're listening to just try it, please. I do this all the time. I'm always like, and I guess you're not, don't tell me you haven't talked to yourself. People do that all the time. You're like doing something. You're like, no, Kevin, why do you want to do that, Kevin? You're stupid. Like that. Like, just, I'm not stupid, but you know what? Oh my God, I'm going to burp on this episode. Talk to yourself, people. You're not going crazy. Just talk to yourself. Trust me. It's all good things. All good things. Your divine consciousness. Today's Friday when I'm recording this, and I didn't sleep. I slept a little bit. I don't know why my body has, I don't know. Yesterday I had like the most weirdest anxiety. Last night I like thought, I don't know why, I don't know. I haven't had like that type of anxiety in a while, but I had like this little moment of anxiety. And I don't know. The other day, last night I had, not last night, when was it? It was a few days ago. I had a dream about like not war, but like nuclear bombs. Is that like not scary to you? Like why? And like I was telling someone this that I was watching a video about like things that can like kill us, like not kill us, but like extinction. And it was touching about like on a bunch of like different things that can like kill us, or are deemed to not be able to kill us. And obviously one of them is like nuclear warheads. And I don't know, I think my brain just like made up like some whole dream story from it. So we have that. Why am I dreaming about warheads? Just don't resist what's in front of you, because that's like the desire of like wanting something to be different takes away from like you being closer to like your actual like state of being. Like just don't make reality be what it's not. You know, I don't know. I really hope that I touched on this topic. I need to unravel my brain a little bit more. I hope I gave some tips, not some tips, but I just hope like I gave a little bit of understanding, things that I'm for sure going through, and like other people are going through, people who talk to me. But that's what I wanted to touch on. And like I said, thank you for listening. If you stuck with me this far. I have so many things I want to do and talk about. It's kind of hard, like I'm sort of speaking to myself right here. But it's sort of therapeutic in a way. So yeah, thanks for listening to this era. And before you go, remember guys to, if you can, leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow me wherever you listen to your podcast, if you haven't already done so. And stay tuned for next week, where I'll talk about memories and things that I have unlocked in the midst of our trying times, and and how they bring a sense of peace to my being. So thank you guys for listening. Have a wonderful day, and speak to yourself. You're not going crazy, sweetie. Maybe I'm going crazy, but just talk to yourself a little bit, okay? And be present, and listen and be here and now. All right? Okay, guys. I'll leave you to it. Have a wonderful day. Mwah. Bye.